Okay. Well, you remember once the vaccine was out, we started to look for who's got it. How can we get it?
Right.
And that got us nowhere really that we knew of until last night when your phone rang and my phone rang, and it was a recorded message saying where we were to go and what we were to bring with us and so forth. And we got a text message at the same time.
It's been a
We each got
couple,
an
wasn't it a
email.
couple of weeks that we signed up for it?
Oh, well, we signed up the first time
Yeah,
at least a month ago.
yeah,
And then I signed up again
yeah.
a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
Same site and a different site before that. So we, not knowing what kind of vaccine it was or anything else, we downloaded the application and hit the road. The site was 3 miles away, Hearst Convention Center,
And what's the date today that we went there?
January 22nd,
Mhm.
2021.
21.
So, 3 miles away, so that's pretty good, pretty close, right in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And then when did we run into our first trouble?
I didn't remember.
We were
any
going to
trouble.
turn into the parking lot, and there was a long line of cars all the way up to Harwood and around the
Oh,
corner.
yeah, and you found a shortcut.
Yeah, I said not us. So we went west a block, right around Jim's apartment. Then we went south and routed ourselves around a big office building.
Mm-hmm. And found a nice little parking lot close
All by
to
ourselves.
close to where the line
We saw a
began.
big line of cars and a big bunch of people going up ramps.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got on that, and we got all of our paperwork filled out, stamped, and stuff. And up the ramps we went. Didn't take too long. I guess we were in the building in maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
I'd say 15 minutes.
Okay, we'll say what you say. And we still didn't know what kind of vaccine it was going to be. So on the paperwork, it said Pfizer or Moderna.
And we got the Moderna.
I wanted the Moderna
That's good.
because they do mRNA. What is mRNA? Messenger RNA. mRNA plays a fundamental role in human biology, transferring the instructions stored in DNA to make the proteins required in every living cell. Now, I don't know how they know every, but I guess
They work
they
hard.
take a strong position on this.
Yeah.
They work
Long
hard.
on that.
Right. Our approach is to use mRNA medicines to instruct the patient's own cells to produce proteins that could prevent, treat, or cure disease. So this is different from a traditional vaccine where you have a live vaccine, the live bad cells,
Mm-hmm.
and you turn them on one another so
Like
they
a
destroy
measles vaccine or something. Mumps.
chicken
Yeah.
pox, all that.
Pox, yeah.
All the old school stuff.
Right.
And then there's the dead cells. Decided to do it with dead cells, less risk of it going bad because they're already dead anyhow.
Mm,
So that's it. That's the one I wanted all along.
good. They seemed quite proud that they had the Moderna. Did you notice the way they said it?
Chest puffed out and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a bunch of police and fire department staff, I think.
Yes.
Big
That's
presence.
what I was thinking. Those were
Yeah.
fire department.
Guidance around.
Yeah.
Here it says the science behind mRNA medicines. In using mRNA to develop medicines, we take advantage of normal biological processes to create a desired therapeutic effect. This gives us the potential to treat a broad spectrum of diseases, many of which cannot be addressed with current therapies. So, tell me, is the Moderna vaccine approved by the FDA?
Yes. No.
Wrong. No, it is not approved by the FDA. They
Okay.
use an exception to get it out there.
Okay.
Because otherwise, you're looking at 5-10 years, long time, 5 years minimum to do it.
So we'll
to do
see how
that.
many of us survive.
Right. So then they kept looking at our paperwork, and we wound our way through one place and the next till we got to the area that said no cameras, recording, or cell phones. But I repeat myself. So that's when people had to show their licenses and their insurance cards and all that kind of stuff. We were put into a computer and our identification scanned by a Fujitsu scanner.
Okay.
You know, I like the Fujitsu scanners. So then
They took our picture. Didn't they?
they didn't take my picture.
Oh,
No, I don't think they took pictures.
okay.
Anyhow, they took a picture of our ID. That's the important part. Then another little walk and into what I think was the grand ballroom.
Yes.
And on the right side were all kinds of people sitting down, socially distanced from one another. And they had had the vaccine, and that's where I spotted you, my bride. And then they summoned me to table 5, which I believe on the left side of the grand ballroom, there were 5 tables in one row and then 5 tables in another row.
Yeah, I went
So
to 14.
Oh, you went to 14. There must have been 3 sets of 5 tables. Okay. So I was trying to do the math. How many were they doing per minute? And I think that I spent between 2 and 3 minutes from the time I sat down to the time I got up.
Yeah.
2 to 3 minutes, you think?
Yes.
Okay. So that's pretty good pace. I can't even imagine how many people were there. And of course, none of them were in the same place at the same time. So as they were winding their way through the convention center, you know, it was more and more people.
And as you sat there, they told you where to sit afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
And they projected in 2 great big projectors the time on the wall. And they looked at the time on the wall. They added 15 seconds.
And wrote it down on a
15
card
minutes,
for you.
rather.
Wrote it down on
the card.
Telling you when you could leave.
Right. That's where you're going to sit in case you keeled over or something. Or if you had an adverse reaction, then they would have watched you for longer.
Right.
Then you were to take the sticker that showed the time that you had to sit there for, and you took that off of your little card for when you come back to get the next dose, and you stuck that on the chair. Then
No, I don't know if I don't. What chair?
the chair that you were sitting on while you were waiting for time to pass.
Yeah, I don't know if I did that. I must have done
Well, they ended up getting your chair anyhow. But that was the clue. That was the cue for the people who were cleaning the chairs with the disinfectant.
Yeah, I put the sticker on before I sat down. That's what it was.
Oh, before you sat down. Okay. Well, then when your time was passed, according to the 2 giant clocks projected on the wall, then you left the sticker on the chair. Somebody came over to disinfect, and they collected the sticker, and then off we went. That's it. We come back later.
And it was
4 weeks.
Yeah, and the shot was a small needle.
Right.
And
Very, very little in the syringe. This is what Julia told me, that she didn't feel the injection at all. The needle was so small and thin.
Right.
And she said there was hardly anything in the vial. What did the guy tell me? 2 cc's or something?
That's small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not,
She said her arm was sore the next day, or that.
no, that evening
That
she had
evening.
soreness.
Yeah.
She advised me we should take Tylenol so we get ahead of the whatever pain is coming.
Can I take aspirin instead?
You'd have to ask Julia. She's the boss. Okay. So overall, how do you judge the experience?
I thought they did a fine job.
Yeah, I give them a 9 out of 10. Poor forms and poorly trained staff. At least where they were logging me into the computer.
Right.
It helps if you're working on the
volunteers.
computer, right? Maybe if you could type, that would be a lot faster.
Yeah.
The end.